and welcome back to Conversations Worth Having with Kai and Tara, Tara and Kai. And today we're going to be talking about stop complaining and start appreciating. And we're going to have a blunt 20-minute podcast about gratitude, perspective, and the waste that we do with complaining. And I am part of that. I've seen that I'm complaining way more, even though I have like this thick gratitude journal. I'm going into it. Like I'm getting why do people complain, Tara? Like what's going on?
There's
Why
different theories. There's different theories. The main one, though, is that your brain understands and recognizes a problem and is like, this is causing us discomfort. Let's figure out how we can fix it. Let's complain and then find a solution. And your brain will often think that just by going over the problem, it'll prevent the bad things from happening. That's one theory.
Hmm.
Yeah. So it's actually your brain trying to work for you to identify the problem and come up with a solution so that you can avoid consequences.
But do you see how there's a lot of problems right now that we can't solve on our own?
Correct.
But we see the problems though.
Yes, they're everywhere. They're
Mm-hmm.
literally everywhere.
Because people complain about their job, their body, traffic, weather, their family, money, social media, being busy, being lonely, being tired, people texting too much, people not texting enough. That's me, people not texting enough. At some point, we have to ask ourselves, are we like living or are we a professional narrator for our dissatisfaction? Like, which one is it, Tara? Are we professional narrators
I
of
think that's a
dissatisfaction?
personal choice. I don't think everybody complains about all of those things. I think we all have our things. And I think you as an individual has to decide, what do I tend to focus on? What do I tend to complain about? Is that problem solvable or is that a perpetual problem? There are perpetual problems in this world, things that are outside of our control. So we have to just, what we have to approach then is, how can I manage what's going on for me around that problem?
What are people doing to manage it? Because you see people who come to you with real, real life everyday problems or like financial
Yeah.
problems. How are people managing it?
They're coming to see me. That's one thing that people do. See it. Some people get medication,
Tara, go Tara.
right?
That had
Some
to
people are
happen.
getting medication. Other times it's deciding to put your head in the sand. Like, and it's, by the way, that's a perfectly reasonable approach to take on some problems and complaints. Is there's nothing I can do about it. I am going to ignore it. Actively ignore this. That is an approach. It is an approach I sometimes teach. We're gonna have to ignore that problem. If it's not causing active harm or it's bigger than that, we may have to let that one go, not let it be a focus. And then you have the basic, like, sure, you can journal about it, you can problem solve around it. It depends on what the complaint is. If it's political landscape, you can get involved with your local politics. You can write letters, emails, calls to your representatives. Most of us aren't doing that. We're just complaining. And then we go, okay, well, vote. Maybe voting doesn't matter. We don't know. So it's, you have to figure out what makes me feel like I am making a difference. Some of it, the system's too big. I'm not going to try and fix the whole system. Let me focus on my community. Let me focus on my family or my kids' school, whatever it is that's actually here, and we can have some influence. And that's where you take back and then tone down the complaining.
Do you feel like you may make too much sense for many people that may be a little bit neurotic about their problems? Because you make a lot of sense, and this is a great conversation. And then again, I go into any kind of like a public place or our kids' karate or anything like that, and I hear people constantly venting, and I want to hear what I would love to hear is like, well, I started this new course to help my skills so that I can then make the money that I need to make. Like, I want to hear solutions, but I'm hearing is
We do get
problems.
a chemical feedback loop from that too. Like, some people get a little attached to their cortisol and their adrenaline, and talking about problems does that. It's also a pretty quick way to bond with your fellow human, is
Oh,
by
okay.
complaining to one another.
Complaining.
So when you say, like, I'm at karate and I hear people like, right, that might be one of the easiest ways for us to bond and have common ground, is to complain about these things. So I'm going to do that because it creates a sense of connection and bonding.
What do you do as a human being when most people around you complain? Including and not limited to, let's just hypothetically say, asking for a friend. Let's say your spouse complains, your kids complain, your friends complain. What do you do as a person then?
If you're in a place that you can offer this, which we're not always in this place, I validate the feel. Like, yeah, it's frustrating out there. Yes, prices are insane. It's really hard. Like you can validate what their experience is. So we're further connected. I heard you. I get it. You can ask them, do you just want to vent or are you wanting to find a solution to this? Most of us will stop complaining if someone actually asks us, are you just going to complain or are we going to move to next steps? So you'll
The
limit your
most,
complaint. I shouldn't say stop. You limit it. But keep in mind,
yeah.
nobody's perfect. And we all have our days where, yeah, I'm going to complain. Lots to complain
You
about.
are literally the most logical person
Yeah.
in my
As we
life.
sit here, sure, I can be logical.
Well, you're still human. Thank God. Thank
But
God for that. Uh, so do you feel like sometimes people complain because complaining feels productive?
gives them something to do. But I mean, it's hamster in a wheel. It gives you something to do, but you're not going anywhere with it.
Yeah.
Our gas prices here in California are insane. They've always been insane. That's fine. You want to complain? I don't complain about them because what I don't control the gas prices. I don't even know who's in charge of the gas prices. But I also know I'm still gonna drive my car around and go to things.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna fill up and do what I can. And if somebody has a solution, like sure, you ride share maybe a little bit more. Carpool with friends. People around here
Get
love
well in California. Oh well, that doesn't help you. But if you go to the speed lane, you can just get the dolly and then do the. But that has nothing to do with gas prices. That's just faking like you have two people in the car to go fast. I don't recommend anybody doing that, but I think
that's gonna be a ticket.
that has nothing to do with gas. No gas
Has nothing
prices.
to do with any of that, but that's fine.
No, no,
But I'm
no.
just saying, like, there's some things that I think we have to choose to say, you know what, complaining about that is not going to change it. I'm not going to talk about it. It's a 24-hour news feed as well is actually really toxic for us because
Mhm.
they talk about problem, all accurate. Those are problems. But they focus on it without giving us something to do, something
Right.
to shift, something
I
to
want to
try.
fix it. I want to fix it. How do I fix this?
And even if you can't fix it, how to manage it. What could you do? What might make you feel productive? I think it's why we see people trying to come together, more protests, more complaints, all those kind of things.
And
Sure,
then they complain more though.
not always. Sometimes that's
Mm.
the outlet. And then I
Okay.
felt like I did something, and now I can move on to other things. It depends on how you're channeling your energy. There
Holy
are times, though,
moly.
that the complaint isn't going to go anywhere. And there are times, I mean, even in sessions, I'll have to talk to clients and be like, hey, we've been over that one.
You've told me that.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
And if we've
Do you
been
feel
over it, then we don't need, like, it's not that I'm not empathetic. It's not that I don't understand that that's a big concern in your world, but I can only validate it. And then we can either move into other, what is within your control? What can you do? What's going well? Most of us, our brains are just trained to look for negative.
mm-hmm.
So we're really good at finding, and we get rewarded for it. You get more
Yep.
engagement in social media. You get people who ask how you're feeling. If I'm talking about how wonderful life is, how many people are like, "Hey, how you doing?" You know,
No,
like
they
it's
would
always
be like,
good.
"Oh my gosh, it's wonderful for you, but it's not so wonderful for me. You're
So
the
it becomes
outcast."
so it becomes a challenge to want to reach out sometimes.
Do you think that on the other coin of complaining is gratitude?
I mean, I would hope so. But what about for you? What does complaining do for you?
Nothing. It just pisses
Nothing.
me off. Like that's why the second I go back on Facebook and I see things that I cannot control, like I can control when I do the English with our kids. I can control when we go to the library. I can control when I'm gonna vacuum the carpets. I can control when I mop, when I make tacos for dinner. I can sure as heck control that because I love me some tacos for dinner, but it doesn't do anything. And then I'm a person who I want to fix. Like I don't take anything as a final. Like if somebody's like, oh, doom and doom and doom, I'm like, nope, here's some solutions that I would suggest for you to look into.
Yeah,
And then they just kind of jump over those solutions and they're right back in the beginning. And that's the frustrating part for me, where it's like, okay, so you won't go to the doctor, correct? No, I won't go to the doctor. It's too late for me. Okay, so you've said that out loud. You won't go to the doctor, great. But so and so hurts, correct? Yeah, so and so hurts. But again, you won't go to get check it out. Ah, no. So then I'm like, um, what do you do? It's It's what it is. So I would say gratitude is a skill that's learned over the years.
So what
And you have
helps
to,
you? What helps you remember to practice your gratitude?
What helps me, journaling.
Okay. How do you remember to journal?
I just do it with my morning cup of coffee. That's like a ritual. You have to turn it into a
Okay.
ritual and then try to write down. I mean, I write down in my gratitude journal things as, in my opinion, they're not small things, but the gratitude journal itself. I write it down. I'm grateful for the gratitude journal. I have a pen. I have a cup of coffee. I have a roof over my head. I have two incredible children. And then it kind of pours in.
Well,
Then
because
it
you're training
starts,
your brain to look for other things. Look
yeah,
for the positive, look for a solution, look for right. And
yeah.
that's what people need to do if they want to do that. But it's also, I think sometimes we have to understand what's the cost of the complaining because we know the benefits of it. Like I said, brings people together, gets engagement, gets attention. Wonderful. Those are actually all things we need and want. Okay. So then we have to look at what's it costing us to do this? Raise stress levels, decrease sleep, all of the health problems that get connected to that.
And you can create a lot of health problems just by from stress.
Yes.
Like it can completely mimic heart attacks and like headaches, and then you go in and you come out, and the doctor's like, physically you're fine. But it's I just don't know. I just feel like everywhere I go, it's kind of stressful. And um, do you would you agree with this following, I guess, statement?
Correct.
Complaining changes your identity. Like, could that be a thing?
I don't know. I mean, it could become your identity, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it changes your identity. I think you're also talking
Okay.
about chronic. You're also talking about ongoing. You're also like all humans are going to complain, and in fact, not complaining sometimes is not good for us. Like in your relationship, if you never complain and explain to your partner what's going on for you, that's
Mm,
going to create resentment. That's going to create
that's
problems.
true.
So we can't just stuff everything either. So it's how you complain. It's the purpose of our complaining. It's how we're connected. It's how long we complain for. When I work with couples, we say 15 minutes. You get 15 minutes, and that's between both of you, to complain about your day, not about each other, about your day. But then that's it. You have to move into what do we want our evening to look like? What do we want our time together now to look like? Our day,
I
this is what
remember.
this is what was bad. Yeah, I know.
I remember doing all that hard work
I know.
with my spouse years and years ago, because there's no shame in getting perspective from someone who's not in the relationship. But
Right.
it's like some people, including myself, like some of the things we complain about are the prayers that we always had, like that relationship, that
Yeah.
house, the opportunity, that paycheck, that freedom, that body, and that stage of life is all things that a lot of people have prayed for, and then suddenly they forget of all the things that are pouring into their life and they make it into something negative. Why do we do this? Why we do this?
I get in part, not always perfectly. Sometimes your people have habits of self sabotage. They don't think they deserve the good things. They don't know how to accept good things. They're more
Hmm.
comfortable when they were without. Okay, fine. That's one option. I hope most of us aren't doing that, but a lot of us can do that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's because our brain genuinely thinks if we do not find the problem and then complain about the problem, we could not possibly fix the problem and we're going to be hurting forever. And our brain's like,
Hmm.
that's terrible. Let's not do that. So then you get more complaining. So, I mean, there's lots of reasons we do it that make sense. So then we have to put in guardrails. We have to put in understanding limits. And our friends need to do it too. We can't just be like, okay, let's do a 2 hour complaint session every other day. That's not going to work.
Hmm.
If people want to come into therapy and only complain every week, at a certain point, I go, hey, we're doing all this work. You're investing time and money in this process, but it seems like we're only staying focused on what the problem is instead of the things that are going well or the changes we've made. Or so, because some people are making changes, and I'm like, but we're not
Hmm.
celebrating those. Let's celebrate some of those. Build positivity, train our brain to have that be a reward.
I
Okay.
feel like I've made like, even though some days, it's like, okay, I'm dying and I have hypochondria, or maybe like I'm actually dying. Hopefully I'm not. But anyway, it's like um you start recognizing those patterns, and I accidentally came up with this way to meditate where I called a friend of mine and she was on a speaker in the car and she's like, "Hey, what's up? How you doing?" And I'm just like, speed line, red, Taco Bell, 7-Eleven. Like I literally start not the whole conversation, but a big part of the conversation literally was naming the things that you can see out loud, vocally.
Which is a grounding exercise. Like we would call it
Yes.
a grounding exercise in
Yes.
my field. We would do that. And there's lots of different ways to do grounding exercises. That's one of them that you're doing. You can do. A client taught me find like the colors of the rainbow wherever you're at. So whether
Oh,
it's
that's
doctor waiting room,
awesome.
so it's red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet.
Oh,
But
that's
it's
so
finding those
pretty.
colors. I usually tell people take a nice slow breath in between finding a color and then before you move into the next one, so you're not just rushing through it.
That is so awesome. And you kind of brought this up before, but you agree as well that the internet kind of rewards misery.
Oh yeah.
Would you agree?
Oh yeah. I mean, we all love. I mean, they call it rage bait. They call it clickbait. They have all these things that like. And also, I mean, we have the phrase, and this existed well before the internet: "Misery loves company." If I'm
Hmm.
miserable, I want to find other people who are miserable. Let's all be miserable together.
Yeah. I've been listening to a lot more Brené Brown lately. If you guys have never heard of Brené Brown, please do
Brene
look her
Brown.
up on. Yeah, Brené. I'm sorry.
Brene.
How you say her first name?
Brene. Brene Brown.
Brené. I'm sorry. I say
Oh.
brain. Brene is
Yeah.
Bren. Brené. Okay, Brené. Okay, and honestly, huge one with the misery and trying to help everybody, and complaining and all that stuff is it all comes back to me personally. It comes back to lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
It all comes back to the fact that I feel responsible for the sadness of the people that I love the most.
Right.
And that comes back to we can do like a mock therapy session since it is, May is Mental Health Awareness Month. We
Right.
can do a mock session, but mine started early, accidentally, through my mom blaming me for something huge. And clearly, your brain is like always, always going to
Yeah.
fight with that. Bring the dog if the dog wants to come or the cat. It's totally
The
fine.
cat, the dog's being like, oh, she's been bringing toys in, but she's stealing them off my daughter's bed and bringing them. So
Oh, I love animals. I want a dog one day. I want a service dog. But anyway, so do you feel like appreciation changes how we live? Like instead of complaining?
I think it can. I think it's a balancing act though because we can't pour from an empty vase kind of an idea. Pour from
Hmm.
a cup, an empty pitcher, whatever the word is that you
Yeah,
for
from an
that
empty
saying.
cup is usually what I use.
So if I'm the only one offering appreciation everywhere and I don't get the opportunity to receive, at a certain point I'm going to run out. So it's kind of we have to create a culture that rewards seeing other people, valuing other people. I mean, they talk about, being a girl's girl is that when you see another woman who's very cute, I'm just saying, oh, I love your top. Like, oh, it looks great. Oh, your hair
Yeah,
looks fantastic today.
that's me.
That's putting out there. But we also have to be able to receive. Some of us, people are trying to give it to
I
us.
don't receive. I don't receive. I receive dirty looks.
That's a lie. You don't. You tend to reject when people are trying to give you things.
Oh, no, I don't. My friend got me flowers the other day. He got me flowers and gluten-free cookies. We have two
See,
minutes left, but like I
and yet you
received it.
did not bring that up.
I ate seven cookies without shame, Tara. Seven cookies. I don't eat seven cookies. Okay, maybe it wasn't exactly seven, but throughout the day it was about seven cookies. I'm not
But you
proud
just
about
said a
that.
minute ago that you do not receive, and yet you received. We forget.
Yes,
We
yes, I
forget. And
did.
that's what I mean by we have to train our brain to hold on to and celebrate
I do. I took a picture
those
of the
moments.
flowers before they were like before they die. I did. I did take a picture, but we have like a minute left, and I
Okay.
just want to leave I want to leave the listener with something blunt, and I'm sorry if this offends anybody, but literally, I need you to understand. I'm not a therapist, but I need the listener to understand that stop acting like life owes you something. Life doesn't owe you nothing, like literally. this might be the bluntest part of the episode, but life does not owe you constant comfort. Okay. It does not owe you perfection. It does not owe you fairness every second, and it doesn't owe you convenience. So if you want to do something, or you want to be something, or you want to change something, you have to be right in the front doing that. And the one thing I
But
suggest,
I will say the conversation worth having is with yourself and doing a little bit of reflection is
oh
what's it
yeah,
costing me to complain and what
yep,
would be the benefit if I stopped.
I know.
There
Can
be
you
one,
imagine? Oh
but
my
I
God.
try something different, maybe not all the time, maybe just in one part of life. Maybe just when it comes to my kids, maybe just when it comes to my job. We all know it's hard to work 8+ hours a day and get your paycheck and it's barely covering the bills. That is hard.
Hmm.
But maybe I still, but maybe I appreciate that I have the job. Maybe I appreciate that I have that really funny coworker. Maybe I can appreciate other aspects of it and find a balance in it. But you have to have a conversation with yourself: is what is this doing for me? To focus
I
on the
love
complaint.
it. I love it so much. Tara, where can people get in contact with you if they want you to be their mentor outside of San Diego, California area?
She says mentor. Other term would be life coach because if you're outside of the state of
Life
California,
coach.
I can't be your therapist because I'm only in
Right,
the state of California. So
right.
there's ways to get around state boundaries that way. Um, but you can go to my website. It's Tara, Tara, VincentDavidson.com. And I have a form you can click. I have my phone number on there. It's a
And all
dedicated cell phone for just for clients.
And all the listeners, it's also on the YouTube as well, right under. I have a copied pasted Tara's website. We're on 20 minutes, almost 21 minutes. This is conversations worth having. So please try to do a gratitude. Try to do one thing a day that went good. Like even if it's something small, like my shoes were not broken from the bottom because my father used to say that next to the hole, there's no hole. And you know what? I am someone who is very proud of gluing things back together and being grateful for what I have. So this is Conversations Worth Having with Kai and Tara, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
All right.
Hold on. Almost there.